again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Welcome back to part 2 of the hat that we're doing. So this is round 15, and we're going to keep on keeping on. So glad to have you back. So we're going to start round 15 by chaining up 1. This is going to be another increase round. So after chaining up 1, and again, we're going to be working in the back third loops only, back there, and going to do a half double crochet. And that's going to count as our first one. And then we need 9 more for a total of 10. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we do an increase, 2 half doubles into the same stitch. And then we do the same thing again. Another 10, so that's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then in the next stitch, 2 half doubles into the same stitch. And keep going in this exact same fashion all the way around until you reach the very beginning of the round. And then to join, going to join into the third loop of that first half double crochet, which is not this one, but the one right back there, right there. Okay, so slip stitch into there, and I will meet back up with you for round 16. Alrighty, round 16. So 16 is very much like 15. Instead of 10, it's going to be 11. All right, so I'm going to start by chaining up 1, and then a half double again into that back third loop, and then 10 more to go for a total of 11. That's 1. Oops. Well, actually, it's technically 2 because that first one I made. So technically 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Then, in the next stitch, 2 half doubles into that same stitch. And then another 11. That's 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then into that next stitch, 2 half doubles into the same stitch. And so, like we have been doing, keep going in this exact same fashion until you reach the beginning of the round, and then slip stitch not into the back third loop, but do a regular slip stitch through the top right here. Okie dokie. All right, so I will meet back up with you for round 17. All right, round 17. Now round 17 is going to be another bead round, so it's going to be just like round 5. So we're going to start by chaining up 1 and into that first stitch a half double crochet stitch. And to do our bead, yarn over and go underneath the bar, pulling up a loop, yarn over, go under the bar, pull up a loop, yarn over, go under the bar, and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 7 loops on your hook there. And then skipping the next stitch, going into the one thereafter, going in with a half double crochet, and we're going to make another bead stitch. So again, yarning over, going around the bar, pulling up a loop, yarn over, going around the bar, pulling up a loop, and we've got 5, so we need one more, yarn over, going around the bar and pulling up a loop, and then pull through all 7 loops on your hook. So again, being sure not to go into that same stitch that we just worked, skipping one and then going into the next stitch. And so we're going to do this for the entire round. And then when you reach the beginning again, going to slip stitch into the top of that first half double that we made, and you should have 39 beads at the end of round 17. So I'm going to meet back up with you when I'm done, and we shall continue on with round 18. All right, so we're up to round 18, which is the part where we are at sort of a crossroads with, whether or not we start the brim. I did at this point, and it worked out fine for me. Now, in the pattern, it does state that as far as the pattern is concerned, okay, if your hat, try it on, if your hat is now only about 2 inches short of the desired height, go directly to part 2, which is the brim. If your hat is more than 2 inches short of the desired height, then continue working the remaining rounds of part 1, but ignore all the increases, only working 1 stitch in every stitch, okay? And that is in the pattern, and of course there's going to be, a link in the description box as always, but for round 18, 19, and 20, if you're going to follow the pattern as stated, which I did, the next 3 rounds are all the same, which is really nice and easy. So I'm going to start by just chaining up 1, boop, and then going to do half double crochets all the way around, okay? Now the only difference is that with round 18, we're going to be working half double crochets in every stitch, yes, but rounds 19 and 20, we're going to be working through that back third loop, okay? That's the only difference, because right now we don't have a back third loop, so we need to create one. So, did a half double crochet into that first stitch. I did do that correctly, right? I just always like to make sure. Yep, okay. So half double crochet into every stitch all the way around. It's pretty status quo at this point, right? And then after reaching the end of round 18, do your slip stitch join in the back third loop, okay? And then for rounds 19 and 20, do your half double crochets into every half double crochet, but working in the back loop, back third loop only, okay? And each time you do a slip stitch join into that back third loop, and I will meet back up with you for round 21, okay? I didn't want to do all of that on camera because I felt that it would be kind of redundant, because at this point you guys should have the gist, I think. And so, like I said, for round 18, just do a half double crochet into every stitch, keeping in mind that for every bead, it counts as 2 stitches, because there's 1 and then there's 2 right in between. And then for rounds 19 and 20, just do a half double crochet into the back third loop of each, and be sure to do a slip stitch join into that back third loop. All right, so I'm going to meet back up with you for round 21, and we shall continue on our merry little way. Alrighty, round 21. Now this one's going to be, well, a little bit different because we're going to be starting the braid aspect of the brim. And it's really not as bad as you may think. Trust me, trust me. So we're going to start by chaining up 1 and doing a half double crochet into that first same stitch, and then 19 more for a total of 20. Okay, then the fun will begin. So we've got our 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And keep in mind that you're working in that back third loop only. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and total of 20. Now we're going to start doing something, like I said, a little bit different. We're going to do a lot of chaining from here. All right. So what you're going to need to do now is do directly from here, chain 100 chains. Now, as far as the tension goes, I would say just chain as you normally would, not particularly tight nor particularly loose, just chain normal. Okay. And then I will show you what to do next after you chain 100 chains. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I have my 100 chains. Oh, yes, I do. And then to continue on our merry little way, we're going to do a half double crochet into the base where we worked our last one and into the next one, always working in that back third loop. So going into that same stitch, see, that's where we were last. So going into that same stitch, draw up a loop, and then go into the next one, draw up a loop, and then pull through all 3 for your next half double crochet, like so. And then for the rest of the round, just do your half double crochets as normal. Now this is going to be one of 3 loops for our braid. So instead of just a regular strand that you would braid, we're going to be braiding the loops for our braided brim. And so once you have gone all the way around to the very beginning, do a slip stitch join into that third loop in the back, and then do the exact same thing 2 more times for rounds 22 and for 23. Okay, so you're going to end up with the 3 loops of a chain of 100 and half double crochets into every stitch. Now be sure to be working in your back third loops only. So for rounds 21, 22, and 23, it's the exact same thing. Just be sure that after you do your chain of 100 to continue on doing your half double crochets by first entering into the one that you just worked, pull up a loop, going to the next one, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. Okay? So that's going to be rounds 21, 22, and 23, and then I will meet back up with you for the next couple of rounds. All right, be right back. Alrighty, round 24. So I did my rounds as I said that I would. Here's my last one with my loop, and then another one, and another one. So what we're going to eventually do is take these 3 loops and braid them as if this was a single strand, and this was a single strand, and this was a single strand. But we'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to that shortly. Right now, we have 3 more rounds to go. Now, rounds 24 and round 25 are identical, and round 26 almost, but not quite. So, to do rounds 24 and 25, quite simply, just chain up 1, and then again, working in the back 3rd loop only, just do a half double crochet into each stitch for the entire round, for rounds 24 and 25, and I'm going to show you the juncture of where we have our chain loop, just so that there's no confusion. And so this round is going to be the same as round 25, and each time you're going to be doing your slip stitch join into the back 3rd loop, just as we've done on so many rounds. And we are so close to being done. Yes, we are. Just going to get into that back loop there. I had to do a join because my ball of yarn ran out. So for me, yes, I had to use 2 skeins of the Vanna's Choice, and not going too terribly far into that 2nd skein, but you do need more than 1. And if I hadn't mentioned it previously, I do apologize. Then again, you may be using a different kind of yarn altogether. All right, so almost there. Just have to keep getting more yarn out. Got my ball rolling around on the floor down below. Alrighty, so just doing your half doubles into the 3rd loop of each stitch, just as we have been. And there we go. Alright, see, I'm just about there. So I've got this one right here. And then, see, I know it looks a little weird because right now we have that sort of space in between. So we're just gonna go directly from that half double where we were and sort of scooch across, bridging the gap. See, this is, I know this may be a little bit messy to actually see, but see, this is the new half double that we created. So again, going into that back 3rd loop, gonna yarn over first, and go through that 3rd loop. Sorry if the focus was bad. So going, see, that's the stitch right there, and then going through the back 3rd loop right there to do our half double stitch. There we go. Ta-da! Easy peasy. All right. And so then you keep on keeping on. All the way to the beginning of the round. And like I said, do that slip stitch through the 3rd loop in the back when you reach the beginning. It's that one right back there. Okay? All right. And also, I would not worry about this right here. You can try to make it a little bit tighter, but I really wouldn't worry about it because when the braid is braided, that will cover that up. Okay, so I'm going to meet back up with you after I finish rounds 24 and 25, and then we will do the finishing touches. Alrighty. Last but not least, round 26. And so for this round, oh so easy, yes it is. All we need to do is quite simply just do a slip stitch into every back third loop for the entire round. How's that for simple? So just go right in to that back third loop. Also, you don't want to do this too tightly, otherwise it will cinch up the opening of your hat. Just go through that back third loop with a slip stitch all the way around. And then when you're done, sew in your ends as far as the one that's going to be produced from our working yarn right now, and your beginning end that we started with. And if you did any color changes or anything, just sew in all of your loose ends. And then we will get into the braiding and the button attachment. And also, if you have a pom-pom, this would be also the time to attach that. I'm not going to add one because I don't have one, but you can, if you have one, or you could always make one. And so I'm just going to keep on keeping on, and I'm going to go all the way around with my slip stitching, and I will meet back up with you. And that will be the end as far as the crocheting is concerned. And then it's just the little details. Alrighty? And so I had done 24 and 25, and so the thing to keep in mind is, even though there is a little bit of a hole there, when you do your braiding, it's going to rest right over that, so no need to worry, okay? Just to put your mind at ease. I was a little worried at first too, but no, it works out just fine. And then we will braid, excuse me, we will braid and we will sew, and be sure to have your button handy because you're going to need it. And I will be back as soon as I am ready, and see you in a bit. Okay. Alrighty, now for the pièce de résistance. Okay, so what I did was I already attached my button, and I didn't sew it yet. I did the little tying of a bow in the back just in case if I needed to move it. And so what I did was I moved from about 7 beads to the left. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. About 7 beads, roughly. And I attached it after, let me show you, after the 1, 2, 3, after the third rib. And I just attached it onto there. Now, because the yarn is rather thick and the little holes of the button are rather small, I used my scissors to help me. Wait, where? I have them around somewhere. I have them around. Here we go. I used the point of my scissors to help the yarn through because the needle is too big, but that definitely did the trick. So about, like I said, about 7 beads from this one right here, 7 beads in, roughly speaking, and then we're just going to mosey on down to our actual loops. And so you separate them out like so, and then we're going to braid them, which is really quite simple. So basically you grab that middle one, take the one on the right, loop it over, and what I would suggest personally is to try to keep the 2 chains, the 2 sections of the loop flat to create more of a flat braid as you go along, and not to do it too tightly. Personal suggestion. more drapey than tight. And so just keep working your way until you reach the very end. Also, try to be even with your tension so that one loop doesn't end up longer than the others. And just keep doing this. And before I reach the end, I would like again to thank the Facebook group Crochet Along and Anna Piskers for her pattern, because this has been a lot of fun. And I hope you guys have been enjoying it too, naturally. And of course, I'm going to put the links to everything in the description box down below. Excuse me. And as always, you know that I do try to post videos as often as I can, whether it's crocheting or knitting or audiobook narration, or of course my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games. I've been having so much fun with that lately, and to all of you that have been following me on there, I really appreciate that too. It's a lot of fun, and I like sharing that with you guys. My biggest pet project is The Sims. Between The Sims and Skyrim, those are my favorites right now. All right, and I'm almost done. Almost done. See, some of the loops are a little bit longer than others. That happens. And then, getting down to the wire here, what I suggest is, because this one's the shortest, I'm going to put that one on last. So I'm going to put these on first. And just loop. And then loop. And then put that last one on. Loop. And then give it a little bit of a tug. And there you go. And I might fiddle around with the actual braiding again so that it's a bit more even, but that is how you do it. And it seems like it doesn't work at the moment, but when you put it on and your head is actually filling the hat, it totally works. Ta-da! And that is the braided brim. So again, thank you so much to the Facebook group Crochet Along and to Anna Piskers for this lovely hat that I could do a tutorial for you guys. So please, if you enjoyed this, please give me a little thumbs up button down below to show your appreciation, because I appreciate your appreciation as always. And, please comment and subscribe for more, because, this is what I do and I love sharing it with you guys. So until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.